All right, you want your MGM status. Ironic that I'm filming this in a Caesars property, but you want your MGM status. It's going to be earned entirely from poker, and you want it. You want your status. Probably gold. That gets you no resort fees. Don't even know what one level above that gets you anymore, but waived resort fees for being gold. 150 hours of poker play gets you that. What are the time requirements? There was a time where I thought it was either the previous full calendar year or the last 12 months. I was incorrect about that. You know, sometimes I'm asking like floor people questions and the answers aren't totally exhaustive, and I also don't feel like using up so much of their time when they have like other responsibilities in the poker room. So I kind of get the information I can and try to like intuitively deduce the full answer. So I used to think those were the two options. No, it's the last 12 calendar months. The last 12 months is what I'm told. The way I understand that, the month you're in and the last 11 full calendar months before that. So your card is going to expire on January 31st of some year. If you got your status today, the expiration would be January 31st, 2026. So it's always going to expire on a January 31st. So whatever day you're asking a floor for your new card with your updated status and the updated expiration date, that day you're asking, a poker room floor person is going to look at your hours in Mandalay Bay plus MGM Grand plus Aria plus Bellagio, and the floor is going to check the hours for the month you're in and the last 11. Let me show you visually. All right, let's look at some rows of calendars here. Going to look at last year and this year, 2024 and 2025. So let's pretend it's March 26th, like it is the day this video is getting published. So you go to a floor on March 26, 2025 at an MGM property poker room in Vegas, and you say, you know, I have my card from last year. The expiration date says January 31st, 2025. Can I have my new card with my current status and the new expiration date of January 31st, 2026? The floor will look up your hours for the past 12 months at Bellagio plus Aria plus Mandalay plus MGM Grand. As I understand it, the past 12 months means the month you're in, which is March, and the 11 calendar months before. So that would be February, that would be January, etc., etc. It would go all the way back to April 1st, 2024. The sum of your hours, Bell plus Aria plus Mandalay plus MGM, that sum determines your status. So there are some circumstances where the last calendar year can definitely be more beneficial to you. There are times that's been the case for me. Last 12 rolling months, maybe not as beneficial, but if you're willing to time it correctly, you can have like one set of play, and that can cover you for 2 calendar years of status. You're gonna have to play a lot of hours in a month, fairly short time, but it's possible, and that 1 month of high volume poker could get you status for 2 years. Okay, slightly different years now. We're looking at 2025 and 2026, so this year and next year. So like I was saying, you're asking a floor person in March 2025 for your new card with your updated status. Whatever your status is, for example, it's gold. How long are you gold? For the rest of the calendar year, plus 1 more month. Expiration dates are January 31st. So if you're asking on March 26, 2025, and they print your new card, you will be gold for the rest of 2025 and for the full month of January in 2026. The expiration date on your card will read January 31st, 2026. So it's interesting that the two things don't really sync. The hours that the floor person is going to check, it's the last 12 months. But when you ask for your status that day, you're getting it for the calendar year. Those things are different. The stretch that they're checking, and then the time period that they're checking is one thing, and it's not exactly the same as the time period in which you'll have your status. So you can kind of combine those ideas, get creative, and you can play for 1 month and have your status for 2 years. Let me show you that. Okay, so this is how you can play a lot in a short time and have status for a while. So say in March 2025, which it is right now, you played 150 hours between March 1st and March 28th. Then on March 29th, you ask a floor person, hey, could I have my updated card with my updated status? And of course, the previous 4 weeks are included in the previous 12 months. The floor is going to check your play for the last 12 months. You have 150 hours, which gets you gold. So you're going to be gold for the rest of 2025 and for January of the following year. So your status is going to be good until January 31st, 2026. Now, let's say you come to town in 2026 on February 10th and you ask the floor, you say, here, I have my card from last year. It says expiration January 31st, 2026. Can I have my new card with my updated status? The floor is going to check your play for the past 12 months, which will be February, the 10 days that have happened so far in February 2026, and the last 11 full calendar months. That goes back to March 1st, 2025. Those 150 hours you played in March 2025 still count in the last rolling 12 months. So when you ask for your new card and your new status on February 10th, 2026, you're going to be gold because you played 150 hours in the past 12 months. And you're going to have this status for the rest of 2026 because you're asking on February 10th, 2026, and for one more month, January 2027. So 150 hours of play in March 2025 plus returning to Vegas in February 2026 gets you status for about 2 years. A huge chunk of 2025, all of 2026, and the first month of 2027. So the big thing here is the timing. In that second year, you need to come to town 1 calendar month before your play started the previous year. So if you start playing a lot in May 2025 and you get your 150 hours in, you got to come to town in February or March or April 2026. If you started playing, like I had in the example, in March 2025, you got to come to town in 2026 in February. So that second year, 1 calendar month early, and the hours will count for both years. Glad you enjoyed the video. If you would like even more poker, travel, and Las Vegas content, feel free to go to my Patreon page. There are 3 ways to get there. One is to type the URL that you've been seeing at the bottom of the screen into your browser. A second way is if you go to my YouTube homepage, next to my icon picture, there is a link to my Patreon page. The third way is to watch any video of mine. Go into the description box below the video, and you'll see the link to my Patreon page. Once you're on my Patreon homepage, you could click on membership, and you could sign up to be a paid member. The first 7 days are free. It's $5 a month after that. In addition to the free post every Monday, you will have access to the exclusive newsletter published on the first Tuesday of every month. It's a monthly newsletter. Or you could go back to my Patreon homepage and you could just click on shop. If there's a table of contents that you find very interesting that I show at the beginning of a video and you just want to read that one newsletter, you could go to my Patreon homepage, click on shop, and each newsletter is individually available for a one-time purchase for $7. Thanks everybody for supporting the brand.